Every single review that I watched about the X2D says the same thing about the auxiliary nozzle, that it's slower, that the quality isn't there, that it's really only good for support interfaces, and you shouldn't expect anything from it. So I did something simple. Same model, same filament, same settings, once on the main nozzle and once on the auxiliary nozzle. I will let you judge that for yourself in a few minutes, but before we get there, I need to show you everything else I threw at this machine first, because this cat was just the beginning. Let's print something cool. On the surface, the X2D and the H2D look like close relatives, and they are. Active chamber, dual nozzle system, 300 degrees nozzle temperature, 65 degrees chamber temperature, the specs read almost identically. But there are two things that makes the X2D its own machine. The first one is the PMSM servo system, that was a mouthful, a permanent magnet synchronous motor that Bambu Lab says delivers smoother motion and cleaner surfaces. And we will see if that shows up in the prints. The second is the right nozzle. On the H2D, both nozzles are direct drive. On the X2D, instead, the right one is what Bambu Lab calls the auxiliary extruder. It's a Bowden setup. Longer filament path, more flex in the system, and according to most of the internet, not suitable for anything beyond support interfaces. And I gotta say that I respectfully disagree with that. So I tested it properly. And I want to be clear about something before we go further. I'm not here to do a full spec review. There are people who do that better than me. What I'm here to do is show you what this machine actually produces, print by print. Everything you will see in this video was printed with Polymaker filaments. I've been using them consistently across all my machines and they've become my standard. Affiliate links are in the box below. Same model, same filament, same slicer setting. The only variable, which nozzle was doing the work. I set both prints running and I genuinely didn't know what I was going to find. The Bowden setup has more give in the system. Less precise retraction, less control. Something I assumed would show up in the result. Look at the surfaces, the roundness on the head, the sharpness of the ears, the layer consistency along the body. I'm not going to oversell this and tell you they are identical, but the difference is nowhere near what the reviews made it sound like, nowhere near. The auxiliary nozzle does take a little longer, and that's real. And it is exactly what you expect from a Bowden path. But quality? That narrative needs updating. If you've been avoiding the auxiliary nozzle for actual printing work, you've been leaving a capable tool completely unused. Next, the same ABS and ASA spool holder that I ran on the H2D. Large flat surfaces, long print times, serious warping risk. If a machine has temperature control problems, this geometry will expose them. The H2D handled it without any drama. So the real question here was, does the X2D actually match that? Or does the H2D reputation hold up as the stronger chamber printer? No warping, no lifting, clean, consistent surfaces on both. And this surface on the X2D, I want you to look at it carefully. I think the servo system is doing something real here. It's subtle, but it's there. A smoothness that I don't think is my imagination. For prints like these, both machines are genuinely in the same league. The active chamber is doing its job on both, and the quality on the X2D is no different. This is where it gets more interesting, because I didn't just want to test print quality. I wanted to answer a support strategy question that comes up constantly on dual nozzle machines. Do you actually need full PETG support structures, or is just PETG interface layer enough? So I ran 4 tests, 2 machines, 2 strategies each. Test 1. PLA model, full support base and interface in PETG on the H2D. Test 2. PLA model, support base in PLA, interface only in PETG on the H2D. Test 3 and 4. Same 2 strategies repeated on the X2D. Same horse, same settings, 4 prints. All 4 came off cleanly. The PETG interface does its job on both machines without argument. But here's the practical finding. Full PETG support structures added roughly 1 hour to the print time compared to the interface only. And the waste added up too. Persian material, prime tower, total weight. On my left with the H2D and on my right with the X2D, but they were printed in two different ways. On this model, both supports and raft were 3D printed in PETG. In fact, the prime tower weighs almost 40 grams. Instead, on the other model, the supports were 3D printed in PLA and only the raft supports in PETG. In fact, the prime tower weighs 27 grams, well, 26 grams, let's say. As for the X2D, this is the one where supports and the raft were 3D printed in PETG. In fact, the prime tower weighs 41 grams. This one instead is the one where the supports were 3D printed in PLA and only the raft in PETG. In fact, the prime tower weighs 27 grams, which is really accurate with the prediction in Bambu Studio. But before we jump into Bambu Studio, let's weigh the actual models. So this is the one from the H2D, PLA 36 grams, still H2D, same PLA, 36 grams. As for the X2D, I use a different PLA, but it's still PLA. So let's see the weight, 32 grams and 32 grams, pretty accurate again. Let's jump into Bambu Studio. In Bambu Studio, we have the version for the H2D and only the raft supports in PETG, and we can see that the prime tower was actually 27 grams, while the model was actually 33 grams, so pretty accurate. Let's switch the support raft base to PETG and slice it again. The prime tower is 42 grams and the model is 32 grams, but also we can see a drastic increase in the time, 5 hours. So if we switch back, the actual time goes down 1 hour, from 5 hours to 3 hours and 53 minutes. Let's open the X2D one. This is the one for the X2D with support raft base and support raft interface in PETG. Let's slice it. The prime tower weight is accurate to 42 grams and the model 34 grams. But the time is 5 hours and 23 minutes. This is a little longer because the auxiliary nozzle on the X2D is a little bit slower. Let's switch the support base again to PLA and slice it again, and the prime tower weight is 26 grams, so pretty accurate again, and the model is 34 grams. And the total time is 3 hours and 43 minutes. So definitely this is the way to go when 3D printing model like this with supports. Using the support raft base exactly as the model, but the support raft interface using PETG. For a model like this horse, sculpture, detail, complex overhangs, interface only is simply the better option. Faster, less waste, same removal quality. That's not a machine-specific conclusion. That's useful information for anyone printing on dual nozzle machines. Now the number that actually surprised me. Remember, the X2D is running a Bowden auxiliary extruder on the horse print. Longer filament path, more variables, theoretically meaningful speed penalty. I expected at least 30 minutes difference, maybe more. 10 minutes. The X2D came in 10 minutes behind the H2D. On a multi-hour print with a fundamentally different extruder architecture, that's not a deal breaker. That's barely a rounding error, and it quietly dismantles one of the most repeated criticisms about this machine. Now let's talk about Multicolor. And for this, I wanted to give a quick shout out to STLflix.com. They provided this triceratops model. Not sponsored, just a great library worth knowing about. Link in the description. Same model, both machines. And this is where I want to be completely honest with you, because this is also where the gap opens up more clearly. The H2D finished in 9 hours and 54 minutes. The X2D instead finished in 11 hours and 29 minutes, about an hour and a half longer. And the quality difference, it's real. I'm not gonna hide it. Look at this area here on the H2D. And now the same spot on the X2D. If you're looking for the difference, you will find it. The transitions are slightly cleaner on the H2D. The finest details are a little sharper. But now let's step back. At normal viewing distance, it is genuinely hard to tell which one is which. And here's the detail I want you to hold on to. On the X2D print, I used auxiliary nozzle as the primary nozzle for the green, the dominant color across the entire model. And it held up. Not perfectly, but well. Better than the reviews would have you believe. Time cost? Real. Quality gap? Subtle. Auxiliary nozzle capability? Still being underestimated. Okay, let me take a quick detour. Because while I was deep in all this testing, I had an idea for a printer that I really wanted to make happen. This is Abe from Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey. I played that game 1,000 times in the 90s and I still do. And I gotta be honest, I always wanted a proper 3D print of him. Problem is, the models I found online weren't great for printing, so I used Tripo.ai to fix that. Tripo is an AI-powered 3D generation tool. I uploaded 4 reference images, front, back, and both sides, and generated 2 versions, a smart mesh for a clean, optimized topology, and an HD model for maximum detail. Now I'm not going to go deep into every feature here, there's a lot, but the short version is this. Tripo can generate 3D models for images or text. It produces clean topology that's actually usable, not just a mesh blob. It supports up to 8K textures, auto rigging, animation export, and something called lock frame export, which lets you freeze any animation pose and export it as a static model, which for 3D printing is genuinely useful. No manual posing required. There's also image generation built in now, so you can create or refine your reference images before you even start generating the 3D model. I exported the model, brought it into Bambu Studio, and now you can either import the textured version directly, so it comes already painted, or painted manually inside the slicer. Both work. And here's the result. A print I generally couldn't have done without this tool. If you want to try Tripo, use my invite link in the description. You will get 500 bonus credits just for signing up. They are also running their first anniversary special right now. The Pro plan is just $990 for the first month. And the Max plan is 50% off. That's 45 euros off, plus double credits, 50,000 of them. That offer applies automatically when you use the link, first month only. And finally, because every 3D printer collection needs them, the minions. No comparison here. This was the X2D doing what it was built for, and I just wanted to see how it handled a long, complex multicolor job on its own terms. 17 hours and 47 minutes. Total print weight 113 grams. Supports 9 grams. Purge waste 88 grams. Prime tower 90 grams. Those last 2 numbers are worth noting. The prime tower and purge waste together outweigh the actual print. That's the reality of multicolor printing. And it's the same on any machine. It's the price you pay for the result. But look at them. Clean color transitions, solid detail, consistent surfaces across all 3. In Bambu Studio for the X2D, we can see that everything matches what we weighted before. 113 grams for the model, purge filament 87 grams, and the tower being 90 grams. So now let's leave it as it is, the white, the blue, and the black on the main nozzle, and the yellow on the auxiliary nozzle. So let's switch to H2D. Let's slice it. Let's leave it exactly as it was for the X2D, on the left extruder white, blue, and black, and on the right extruder yellow. On the left we have the X2D file, and on the right we have the H2D file. The total of the model is pretty much the same, it's 112 grams. The support is almost very similar, and the purge filament too. And the prime tower is slightly less. But what changes is the total time. From the X2D we have 17 hours and 47 minutes, and on the H2D we have 16 hours and 28 minutes. And this is for the same reason we talked about before, because the auxiliary nozzle on the X2D is a little slower because of the bounding system. And now let's compare my favorite benchmark test with Anger from Inside Out. This was 3D printed with the H2D, and this one was 3D printed with the X2D. Let's weigh the model, the purge tower, and the poop waste. But the poop waste, I think I have it on the other video. In fact, if you're interested to see a torture test on the H2D, please do check the video. This is the model from the H2D, and it's 83 grams. This is the model from the X2D, and it's 88 grams. This is the prime tower from the H2D, and it's 60 grams. This is the prime tower from the X2D, and is pretty much the same, 57 grams, almost 60 grams. And this is all the poop waste, which is 88 grams. I don't know if you can see it, but is 88, 89 grams. Of course, I already subtracted the weight from the container, which was 183 grams. This is what the X2D is capable of when you give it the right job. So after all this, the cat, the spool holders, the horse, the triceratops, Abe, the minions, what is the X2D actually? Here's my honest take. This machine has nothing to do with its predecessor, the X1C. Nothing. It's not an upgrade. It's not a refresh. It's a completely different printer. And I think the best way to describe it is this. It's a hybrid between the P2S and the H2D. It takes the accessibility and the value of one and the capability and engineering of the other, and it puts them in one box. And that box costs 629 euros, 849 for the combo. I remember the X1C's price. That's partly why I never purchased one. At 629 euros, the X2D makes a completely different argument. For the price, the specs are extraordinary. Active chamber, dual nozzle, PMSM servo system, the ability to print ABS and ASA, and flexible materials and multicolor without drama. There is no other machine at this price point doing all this. Yes, the competition is fierce right now. Tool changes from Prusa, from Snapmaker, and even FlashForge. They're pushing the category hard. And honestly, I would love to see Bambu Lab build their own tool changer. That's the frontier right now, and it's what the most demanding users are moving toward. But here's the thing, if you're asking me whether I would recommend the X2D to a beginner, the answer is absolutely yes. More than the H2D actually. The H2D is a phenomenal machine. I waited almost a year for it, and it has never disappointed me. But it's a different kind of machine for a different kind of user. The X2D is the one that I would hand to someone who's just getting serious about 3D printing and wants a machine that does everything. Does it well, and doesn't cost a fortune to get into. If you want to check out the torture test I put the H2D through, it's linked below. It will give you a real sense of what that machine can do when you really push it. Affiliate links for both the X2D and the H2D are in the box below. Using them costs you nothing extra and generally helps this channel going. And the same goes for Polymaker Filaments. I use their filaments almost for everything you saw in this video, and they have been completely consistent across every test. And if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, please do to consider so. You can also join the channel as a member here on YouTube or find me on Patreon. Members get early access to videos, longer cuts, bloopers, and full unboxing videos uncut. All the links are in the box below. Thank you so much for watching, and as usual, I'll catch you on the next one.